Good afternoon to you and welcome. Tell us what's happening there.
Afternoon, indeed. We are here at Ntabagandonga near Case Kamauk, where dozens of people are expected to join the Maqoma family in trying to commemorate and celebrate the life of Chief Jongumsobomvu Maqoma, who showed his strength and leadership during the 19th Frontier Wars, where he showed courage to fight against the Britain armies who tried to dispossess land from the black people, in particular the Xhosa nation. Amongst other things, this great leader has shown was to defy Nongqawuse's vision, which in those years was that cattle should be killed and that no crops should be planted. We understand that this was one of the plans used by the colonial government to try and destroy the Xhosa nation. But Chief Jongumsobomvu Maqoma defied that. He even went to Robben Island for years, saying that he will not back down. Even after he came back and was defeated by the colonial government, he still stood firm, saying that he will not let them take land. He will not let them try and dispossess the land of the Xhosa nation. But to tell us more about Chief Jongumsobomvu Maqoma, we are joined by the Chief Security Maqoma. Sir, thank you so much for joining us. Just how important is it that we celebrate Xhosa chiefs, in particular Chief Jongumsobomvu Maqoma?
It is very important to celebrate this hero because even his enemies, not only his people, they agree that he was one of the greatest leaders ever produced by the Xhosas and also one of the greatest military strategists. Even the British generals knew that when Maqoma was fighting them, they should really stand on their toes. He was a military strategist. He devised the guerrilla warfare to fight the British. In the previous wars, the British had cannons and shot the Xhosas like flies. Maqoma said, we cannot fight these people with these cannons face to face. We must devise ways to attack them and sabotage them and do what is called hit and run, guerrilla warfare. Fought the British and ran to the mountains, attack their wagons, attack their camps, etc.
Now, this takes place in a very significant month where the whole world is trying to make sure that it is a heritage month where people take pride in who they are. How important is it to make sure that the leadership of Jongumsobomvu, of trying to make sure that you fight for your people, is also passed on to generations and generations in this day and time?
It is important because of one thing. Maqoma was a very courageous leader. And he was also very brilliant, even in talking about how the people should live, how people should conduct themselves. He was relied upon by his people. Even when there are trials, they would always take the trial to Maqoma because there was a trial of a Khoi who stole a chair from the British and he ran to Xhosa land. The man came to the soldier. The settler came to Maqoma and said, I want my slave. Maqoma said, look, there is no slave here. You are a man. You have got a case against another man. I must try the case fairly. It's important that leadership should stick to the principles.
Now, not much is said about these leaders. Many young people do not know where they come from. They do not know the likes of Chief Maqoma. What are the chiefs doing to make sure that this great history does not disappear? It is passed on.
We are trying by conducting seminars, by having Heritage Day, where the Maqoma name is mentioned. Because the British, after killing Maqoma at Robben Island, they buried him in an unmarked grave. His portrait were not shown. They only surfaced after 1994 when black people got their freedom. So many people do not know about Maqoma because Maqoma fought against the illustrious British soldiers who fought in the Napoleonic Wars, who fought in the Peninsular Wars, who fought in the Crimean Wars. They fought against Maqoma and he defeated them. Also Harry Smith, also George Cathcart, who ended up dying in the Crimean War. All those people were pitted against Maqoma and he defeated them. They were trained in military schools, but Maqoma was never trained in a military school. He was a genius, a natural genius.
All right, now years after that, people continue to fight so that they can have their land back. How far are we in trying to fight so that the people who had their land dispossessed is brought back to them?
It is threatening because the process is there, it's in place, but it's driving at a snail's pace. Land was everything to the black people. I mean, they used it in marriages as lobola. They used it in plowing fields so that the family should eat. Now the black people have been dispossessed of all those resources. It is important that our government should hasten that process so that land should get back to their people. We don't want to do it savagely by invading farms, but we want the process to run lawfully. But it must be done.
Chief, thank you so much for your time. We're going to have to leave it there. That was Chief u-Maqoma telling us about the importance of commemorating Chief Jongumsobomvu Maqoma and many other chiefs who fought for black people, who fought for the freedom and liberation of black people. Now we're going to wait for them to continue with the proceedings of the day so that they can unveil his grave and make sure that his legacy does not die, while also trying to make sure that land is brought back to the people who lost their land, such that Maqoma's death is not in vain. With us here in Tabakando, that is back to you in studio, Abashwe.
And so says Busisiwe Jimsana, live there in the Eastern Cape.